Hello everyone, thank you for joining our webinar today. I am Ishwar, a product expert at Analytics Plus, Manage Engine's flagship IT analytics solution, and I am excited to conduct this highly anticipated and informative session. As you already know, today we'll be discussing strategies to secure IT using analytics-driven service management. But before we begin, here are a few housekeeping notes for the session. By default, all attendees will be on listen-only mode. If you have any questions during the webinar, feel free to type them in chat or drop them in the Q&A panel on the left side of your screen. I'll try my best to get to them towards the end of the session. In case we run short on time, I'll respond to your questions later via email. You're also welcome to email me your questions directly using the address that is shown on your screen. So with that out of the way, let's get started with our webinar. In today's rapidly evolving cyber threat landscape, securing an organization against cyber attacks is an expensive and an arduous task. The increasingly dynamic and complex nature of potential threats has led to organizations investing heavily in specialized security tools to protect their IT infrastructure from critical threats. However, organizations continue to fall victim to devastating attacks even after implementing these tools. This is mainly due to organizations relying on cookie-cutter approaches to mitigate cyber threats without addressing the fundamentals and employing every tool in their arsenal. In such scenarios, the IT service desk can emerge as a surprising savior and a critical component of an organization's cybersecurity strategy. By leveraging data-driven service management, you can transform your service desk into a frontline defense mechanism that resolves critical vulnerabilities and secures your IT environment. In this webinar, we'll explore how analytics-driven service management can empower your IT service desk to serve as the front line of proactive cyber defense and outline 5 strategic steps organizations can take to fortify their entire IT infrastructure against ever-evolving cyber threats. So now, let's just dive into the first strategy in our 5-step strategies. And this is cyber-proofing asset purchases with historic service desks insights. Most IT assets today come with vulnerabilities and threat entry points even before they are integrated into an organization's environment. That's why the first line of defense in any cyber strategy should be to procure cyber resilient assets from the outset. This helps reduce future threats and maintain a stable, secure, and compliant IT landscape. And the first critical step towards cyber-proofing asset purchases is choosing the right vendors. Whether you are acquiring hardware or software, performing a thorough vendor risk assessment helps establish policies to prevent critical risks and quickly remediate threats. Leveraging past service desk data can offer valuable hands-on insights for performing effective vendor assessment. As the central hub for asset management, the service desk maintains records of incidents, service requests, and security fixes. By analyzing this data, organizations can spot patterns, trends, and other directions in asset performance, reliability, and security. This enables better procurement decisions that prioritize cyber resilience. The past service desk data can also provide insights into the number, severity, and impact of software vulnerabilities within an organization's IT environment. Procurement teams can reassess the software acquisition strategies based on these insights, enforcing stricter policies when dealing with vendors that have a history of delivering software with critical vulnerabilities. Analyzing software-related incidents and request resolution data, as shown here, can reveal the extent to which a certain software from top vendors impacts the organization's security. Frequent security incidents, extended downtime, and high time to resolution can severely degrade user experience, increase the risk of breach, and impact the overall security score. Softwares plagued by critical security issues, low availability, and poor security ratings become less attractive for future procurement. So as we have seen here, by tapping into the past service desk data, you can make more informed, risk-aware asset procurement decisions that bolster your organization's cybersecurity. Just as service desk data supports the procurement of software, it can also provide invaluable guidance in selection and procurement of reliable as well as secure hardware assets. Now let's explore how historic service disk data can cyberproof workstation procurement. The visualization provides a vendor-wise analysis of security incidents and the frequency of patch updates across different workstations. Since any incident is first reported and patches are deployed to the service desk, this makes service desk a reliable source for this kind of analysis. We can see here that workstations from vendors like Lenovo, Acer, and Asus have been the cause of unusually high number of security incidents and also have required frequent patch updates compared to other vendors. Armed with this data, IT teams can flag these vendors and reassess their procurement strategies, implementing policies to manage future workstation purchases. Incorporating factors like software vulnerabilities, hardware reliability, and vendor risk assessment into asset procurement, as we have seen here, ensures that your asset procurement process is aligned with building a cyber-resilient IT landscape. This approach fortifies your defense by ensuring that all procured assets can withstand the ever-evolving threat landscape. With that, let's just move into our second strategy. The second strategy that we are going to discuss today is graduating to risk-free change implementations via threat-aware change management. Change management is one of the most fundamental parts of any organization's ITSM strategy. In today's dynamic IT landscape, changes to configurations, assets, and systems are inevitable. While IT teams invest substantial time and resources to establish robust change management processes, they often struggle to ensure that all changes happening in the IT service desk are properly routed to the service desk change management module. This lapse in proper adherence to change management procedures can significantly increase the volume of unauthorized changes. So, when we talk about unauthorized changes, these unauthorized changes, whether they are intentional or accidental, pose significant security risks. These changes, which are made outside the established change management process in your service desk, can expose critical systems in your IT to vulnerabilities, creating pathways for attackers to exploit, as clearly evidenced by this next analysis. The visualization shows the unauthorized changes can increase the volume of security incidents and also lead to a drop in system uptime, leading to productivity losses and ultimately significant financial repercussions. Even unintended changes caused by human errors can lead to severe threats and consequences. Therefore, continuously tracking and monitoring all IT changes and ensuring that they are routed through the service desk change management process is imperative for organizations to maintain a firm grip over the changes and mitigate potential vulnerabilities. This is very important, especially in today's hybrid IT environment, wherein the assets are deployed across on-premise, cloud, and distributed locations. And in such hybrid environments, strict adherence to established change management processes becomes extremely critical. So we saw the importance of having an established change management process and routing all the changes through the change management. However, one of the major roadblocks security and IT teams face in their quest towards achieving threat resilient change management is the ability or lack thereof to promote and promptly detect unauthorized changes. Analyzing asset and configuration change data from your configuration management database or CMDB, which contains information on assets, network components, and system configurations, along with syslog entries for a specific asset, and comparing these two values with the change management records in your service desk can help detect deviations from your established change management practices. And this allows you to quickly identify any unauthorized or unintended changes that circumvent your service desk's change management process. For example, every single update or configuration change in a database server is recorded in its syslog entries. By comparing this database server syslog entries with configuration change data from a CMDB and service desk, as shown in this analysis, you can identify and segregate unauthorized configuration changes from authorized ones. So the analysis, as you can see here, reveals a significant disparity between the number of changes and change management records in your service desk with the change records from CMDB and actual change related entries in the servers or database server syslogs over the past 30 days, indicating the occurrence of unauthorized changes. So this line of analysis will enable security teams to investigate the unauthorized changes and mitigate any possible vulnerabilities before the attackers can properly exploit them. So by regularly analyzing data from change management modules, as we have seen in this analysis, and routing all the changes through the established and configured change management module and process in your service desk, security teams can prevent accidental or unplanned changes that could lead to critical security flaws in the future. Now let's move to the third step in our 5-step strategy. And here we are going to discuss how to ensure total security compliances in asset handling with prudent asset management. So in the first strategy we discussed during this session, we established the importance of thoroughly vetting assets during procurement process. However, simply acquiring cyber resilient assets does not guarantee their ongoing security throughout the life cycles. To maintain asset security posture, we must employ proactive IT service management strategies at every stage, right from the pre-deployment phase through integration, maintenance, and beyond. This proactive approach, starting from the initial stages rather than after integration, is crucial to ensuring that long-term cyber resilience of any assets in your IT service landscape is maintained properly. But there is a catch here. In many organizations, patching cycles and vulnerability scans only commence after the assets are deployed to users and integrated within the organization's network. So this is an oversight that creates a dangerous window of vulnerability. New assets often come with configurations, updates, and patches that were current at the time of purchase, or even worse, at the time of manufacturing. By the time they are deployed, these patches are typically outdated. For instance, an asset that was purchased but not deployed for 3 months is likely to have missed several critical updates that happened across these 3 months, leaving it vulnerable to newer threats and attack modes. So when these assets are introduced into your network without prior assessment, they can serve as gateways for critical cyber attacks such as data breaches, ransomware, or even unauthorized access. So the solution to this problem lies in ensuring proper patch compliance and performing vulnerability assessments on new assets before their deployment into the network. This can be achieved through advanced ML-driven analysis integrated into your service desk workflows. Using ManageEngine's flagship IT analytics platform, Analytics Plus, You can create custom no-code ML models to assess key asset parameters, including patch compliance status, missing patches, time since last update, asset criticality, vendor reliability, business continuity needs, and more. These parameters allow IT teams to predict the vulnerability of new assets and classify them into risk categories such as critical, high, medium, or low risk. So let's just consider the analysis that we conducted using the AutoML feature of Analytics Plus. By training a custom ML model with service desk data and analyzing key service desk parameters, we have been able to predict and categorize newly procured assets based on their likelihood of compromise. By creating and training tailored ML models that considers key service desk parameters, the analysis predicts the likelihood of newly procured assets to be compromised and classifies the assets into critical, high, medium, and low vulnerability categories. For instance, in this visualization, you can observe that assets with low patch compliance and large volume of missing patches and high priority deployments, such as those supporting business critical functions, are flagged as critical or high risk. These assets should not be deployed without rigorous patching and vulnerability testing. This analysis highlights the need for pre-deployment patching and security assessments as part of a service desk or asset management workflow. By establishing these practices and ensuring strict adherence, organizations can secure newly commissioned assets before they reach the end users. If you'd like to learn more on how to create similar no-code ML models for your custom analysis, feel free to email us and our team will be happy to assist you over a quick call. Now, achieving cyber resilience doesn't stop at securing newly procured assets. The cyber threats landscape evolves constantly, and regular patching is critical to maintain a strong security posture. While IT teams do recognize the importance of ongoing patch management and have integrated it into service desk workflows, the shift to hybrid and remote operation has added a new twist to this tale. In a post-pandemic world, hybrid and remote workforces have become a norm. Remote assets and bring your own or BYOD devices pose unique challenges, as these devices are often outside the traditional corporate network, making them harder to monitor and patch regularly. Employees using personal devices or accessing critical systems remotely can expose organizations to these threats if the devices are in adherence to the patch compliance standards. The analysis that is projected on your screen illustrates the patch deployment status of remote devices that are distributed across multiple geographies. As you can see, there is a strong correlation between patch compliance and vulnerability of remote devices. In locations where patch compliance is greater than 90%, say in New York, you can see that the proportionality of vulnerable assets is very less. While in location where the patch compliance is way below 90%, like a Tel Aviv or a Cairo, the proportion of vulnerable assets is alarmingly high. So, to mitigate the risk posed by remote and bring your own or BYOD devices, IT teams can adopt proactive ITSM strategies that ensure security compliance. Some of these strategies include automated patch alerts. Here, you need to configure automated alerts or warnings to notify remote or BYOD users when their patch compliance drops to anomalously low values compared to organizational averages. Next step you can take is to have a comprehensive patch compliance dashboards. So implementing a real-time dashboard that provides a single pane of glass view to monitor the patch compliance of all devices, whether in office, remote, or BYOD, is really important in maintaining the security compliances in remote and BYOD devices. And finally, Remote monitoring, that is integrating your service desk with remote monitoring and management or RMM tools, can help you scan remote devices for missing patches and initiate automatic patch updates on real time. So by implementing these service desk-driven strategies, your organizations can secure even the most geographically dispersed assets, ensuring that the remote devices remain resilient against cyber threats throughout their life cycle. Now let's just move to the fourth important strategy in our 5-step strategy, which is accelerating incident mitigation with automated workflows. But before diving into this strategy, let me accept a bitter truth. So if you already don't know it, no defense is impenetrable. Yes, that's right. Despite all the strategies we have discussed so far in this webinar and the countless others you might have encountered elsewhere, some threats inevitably slip through. When that happens, the focus needs to shift to swift detection, triaging, and mitigation. Time is of the essence here, and the faster you can identify and neutralize attacks, the less damage it will cause. Excuse me. This is where automated incident response workflows in the service desk come into play, enabling you to manage incidents efficiently and minimize their impact. With growing complexity and frequency of attacks, organizations need response mechanisms that are fast, effective, and require minimal human interventions, especially for routine tasks. Implemented correctly, automated incident mitigation workflows in service desk can offer ideal solution by ensuring that each step from incident detection to resolution follows a predefined, proven, and streamlined process. These workflows can be built using insights from past incidents as well as leveraging data from successful triaging and resolutions of security incidents in the past. This will help you ensure that future responses are consistent, efficient, and effective. Every action from incident detection, classification, and resolution is carefully configured, logged, and tracked within the service desk, making it easy for IT teams to replicate successful responses. Automated workflows can encompass every critical step or best practice in responding to a security incident. This can include detection, classification, priority assignment, technician allocation, progress tracking, logging, and the final resolution, and much more. So you have done all this. What are the benefits of having automated service desk workflows? Well, some of the advantages of having automated incident resolution of workflows on service desk include faster incident detection and response, as I said, is very critical. Second, bringing consistency to remediation methods and response procedures for multiple incidents of the same category. Third, achieving reduction in human error that would have led to an increased resolution time and increase the impact of incidents. And fourth and the final one is optimized use of resources as well as technician expertise where it's critically required. Additionally, automating initial tasks such as logging incidents, assigning tickets, and sending alerts frees up IT teams' focus on solving complex problems rather than repetitive tasks. Analytics Plus also allows you to create and configure automated workflows through webhooks. You can set up automated alerts for a variety of security incident scenarios based on your service desk data in Analytics Plus, and then leverage the webhook to trigger remediation workflows in your service desk, thereby establishing a 360-degree closed-loop automation from incident detection to resolution. Now, let me just walk you through how to set up webhook workflow requests in Analytics Plus. So the analysis that is displayed on a screen tracks the number of unauthorized software installations across assets in an organization's network. Here, the anomalous spikes in unauthorized software installations has been detected via automated anomaly detection, highlighting potential vulnerabilities. So the first step in creating automated workflows to address such anomalies or incidents is to define alert conditions that will trigger webhook workflows. So in this case, since the anomaly has already been identified, you can configure automated alerts based on these anomalies as we are shown here. These alerts will serve as base conditions for triggering custom webhook workflows. Once you have entered the alert details, simply select Webhook Request menu from the Action to Perform section. Here, you will need to enter the required details, including the webhook URL of your service desk application, which will include the webhook-based flow of action to be configured, and also enter any other necessary details required as per your organizational needs. Once this is done, click Save to proceed. But make a note of one thing before you finalize the webhook setup. Make sure that the actions to be executed in the webhook flow are clearly defined in your webhook builder application. This ensures that the entire workflow functions seamlessly from the moment the alert is triggered. Once everything is configured, the webhook will trigger and the specified action will be executed automatically every time the alert condition is met. And just like that, in a matter of minutes, you can create custom automated workflows from your Analytics Plus workspace to respond to security vulnerabilities such as unauthorized software installations. This setup streamlines incident response by eliminating the need to switch between applications or manually handle individual tickets. It also ensures that your organizations can swiftly react to emerging threats, all while simplifying the process through automation. Organizations can tailor such workflows based on their threat environment, security protocols, and organizational policies to address their unique requirements. With automated workflows, IT teams can handle larger volumes of incidents, ensure consistency in their responses, and ultimately strengthen the organization's overall security posture, as we have seen. Now, let me move on to the fifth and the final strategy in our session, which is fostering security-sensitive workforce with managed user training and education. Employee errors and lack of awareness remains among the leading causes of security incidents in an organization's IT environment. From malware attacks and data breaches to IAM or identity and access management vulnerabilities, many of these incidents can be traced back to human error. Phishing scams, ransomware, and other attacks often succeed when employees unknowingly click malicious links, use weak passwords, or fail to recognize social engineering attempts. These examples highlight how uninformed employees can inadvertently open doors to attackers. Therefore, educating employees on the pivotal role they play in maintaining an organization's cybersecurity posture and training them on security concepts, best practices, as well as attack vectors is the most basic yet highly impactful cybersecurity strategy. A well-trained workforce is more likely to spot phishing attempts, handle sensitive data properly, and follow correct password protocols, all of which contribute to reduce security vulnerabilities. The analysis that is presented on your screen clearly draws out the relationship between training compliance rate and number of security incidents caused by human errors. You can clearly observe that with a gradual increase in month-on-month training compliances, the organization starts experiencing fewer cyber attacks, with minimal attack happening on the month of December, where the training compliance is at all-time high of 98%. Regular focused training not only raises awareness, but also equips employees with the skills to respond to threats appropriately. Organizations worldwide are recognizing the importance of this employee training as a cornerstone of their cybersecurity strategy, and many have implemented intuitive modules or learning management systems to deliver well-curated training modules. However, a common challenge across industries is low adoption rates and slower course completion rates. This issue becomes more pronounced as organizations grow larger and headcount increases, making it difficult to track training progress and ensure full compliance. One proven solution to this challenge is integrating training into the service desk workflow. By embedding security training as a mandatory part of employee onboarding process and scheduling regular updates through service desk, organizations can ensure that every employee receives up-to-date cybersecurity education. Making the service desk a central hub for managing training and integrating it with your LMS ensures that everyone from an entry-level staff to a senior leadership stays informed and prepared to handle potential security threats. The analysis shown on a screen compares the training completion rates over a 12-month period for organizations that used service desk integrated approach versus when relying solely on LMS-driven training. The data clearly shows a significant increase in training adoption and completion rates when training is managed through service desk. From these two analyses that we discussed in this section, it is evident that service desk regulated security training approach offers a more cohesive and integrated method for improving employee security awareness. It is also advisable to configure anomaly-based alerts in this analysis to notify IT and security teams immediately when there is a significant drop in training completion rates for a specific month. This also provides an additional fail-safe, ensuring stricter regulation and enforcement of security training without requiring a regular monitoring. This approach leads to better compliance, fosters security-conscious workforce, and ultimately strengthens your organization as the first line of defense against cyber threats. So in this webinar, we have seen that the IT service desk is no longer just a support function. It is a critical component of an organization's cybersecurity strategy. By adopting analytics-driven service management, organizations can empower their service desks to proactively defend against cyber threats, enhance incident response, and continuously improve your organization's security posture. By following the 5 steps outlined in this webinar, organizations can transform your IT service desk into formidable first line of cyber defense, capable of protecting the entire IT infrastructure from ever-evolving threat landscape. Let me quickly summarize the 5 strategies we discussed during the session. So the first strategy that we had looked at was securing asset procurement with past service desk data. Incorporating past service desk insights on hardware reliability, software vulnerabilities, and vendor risk assessment in your asset procurement plan ensures that it is aligned with building a cyber resilient IT infrastructure. This approach fortifies your defense by ensuring that all procured assets can withstand the ever-evolving threat landscape. The second important strategy that we looked at in this session was avoiding unauthorized changes and cyberproofing change management with real-time tracking. Consistently tracking all the changes made in your IT environment and routing them through the change management module of your service desk enhances the visibility into and control over all these changes. This in turn strengthens your organization's overall cyber defense by reducing the risks posed by unauthorized and unintended changes. The third strategy that we had looked at is implementing security-focused asset management practice across the life cycle of your IT assets. By establishing pre-deployment security assessment and patching as part of the service desk workflow and ensuring strict adherence, organizations can secure newly commissioned assets before they reach the end users. By maintaining these patch compliance best practices across the asset life cycle, your organization can safeguard its IT infrastructure, protecting it against the ever-evolving cyber threat landscape, no matter where your employees or devices are located. And the fourth strategy is about establishing automated incident response workflows on service desk. Incorporating automation into incident response isn't just about efficiency. It's about ensuring that when a breach occurs, your team can act swiftly and decisively, minimizing the damage and keeping your IT infrastructure secure. And the fifth and the final strategy that we had looked at is about building a security sensitive workforce through service desk regulated training. Service desk driven training and security awareness leads to better compliance, fosters a security conscious workforce, and ultimately strengthens your organization's first line of defense against cyber threats. The reports that we covered during this webinar were built using Analytics Plus, ManageEngine's AI-powered IT analytics solution, and using data spanning across various applications, including the service desk. Beyond offering comprehensive analytical capabilities, Analytics Plus also provides out-of-the-box integrations with several IT applications. This includes various ManageEngine applications like Service Desk Plus, Endpoint Central, Application Manager, Site 24/7, Op Manager, Mobile Device Manager Plus, PAM 360, to name a few. The Advanced Analytics platform also provides pre-built analytics for various third-party IT as well as business applications such as Jira Software, ServiceNow, and much more. The primary benefit of these out-of-the-box integrations lies in the fact that they can be configured in minutes, post which you can access 300 plus pre-built reports and dashboards that are generated. So if you would like to attain a hands-on experience and apply this detailed analysis to your company's data, all you need to do is sign up or download the Analytics Plus free trial and set up the integration to access these insightful reports and dashboards. Alright, moving on. In addition to the out-of-the-box insights for major IT applications, Analytics Plus continuously strives to facilitate self-service on every level of its platform. A key player that facilitates this is our AI-driven analytics assistant Zia. If you're just getting started with analytics and find BI tools to be daunting, well, Zia is your new best friend. All you have to do is strike up a conversation with Zia, either via text or via voice, and Zia will automatically generate the insights required to further your analytics journey. While this removes the task of having to build a report yourself, understanding and breaking down the visualizations and the informations displayed on your screen can take up a lot of time. Well, we got you covered even then. With Zia Insights, you can attain narrative, detailed interpretations of your analysis at the mere click of a button. This feature proves beneficial, especially in cases where immediate attention and action is crucial in putting out fires in your organizations. You can leverage Zia's conversational prowess to dig deeper into data and uncover hidden information and perform root cause analysis. You can also leverage our robust forecasting engine to foresee future trends and modify your business strategies accordingly. Another beneficial and handy feature in Analytics Plus is our scenario analysis functionality. Using what-if analysis, you can execute powerful scenario analysis over your reports to visualize various outcomes based on a deciding factor. By understanding the business impact when changes occur ahead of time, you can adjust your strategies and achieve business objectives with these. You can also set up threshold-based alerts for your reports and get notified via in-app alerts or email. This saves you the trouble of having to recheck your reports manually every time to avoid missing out on business-critical changes. It also is beneficial in notifying you of suspicious activities or anomalies that occur within your IT environment. So that was a brief overview of Analytics Plus applications. Eager to explore more and elevate your IT analytics journey with Analytics Plus? You can get started with the application right away. Scan the QR code that is on your screen to access a 15-day free trial of Analytics Plus. With that, that's all we have time for today, folks. But if you have any remaining questions or concerns about today's session or Analytics Plus in general, please feel free to email me on the email address that is shown on your screens now. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us today. Take care, everyone, and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.